Hi, everyone. This is Avery Peel, host of the Hope Matrix on Campus podcast. We are here to share the science, strategies, and stories for how to hope. I am the Community Hope Specialist at the Shine Hope Company, and Shine is the mnemonic for how we teach hope. So when we talk about hope, we talk about the stress skills, happiness habits, inspired actions, nourishing networks, and eliminating challenges, which are the thinking patterns that get in the way of our ability to hope. Hope is a skill. You can measure hope, you can teach hope, and you can start practicing skills to activate higher hope in your life today. And on this Hope Matrix on Campus podcast, we aim to bring in guests, experts in science, people with stories, and those that have strategies for activating hope in your life. Hi, everyone. My name is Avery Peel, and I am the host of the Hope Matrix on Campus. Today, we are going to be talking about the SHINE framework, which y'all might have been introduced to a little bit in the last episode, but the SHINE framework stands for stress skills, happiness habits, inspired actions, nourishing networks, and eliminating challenges. And we'll get into that shortly, but let me introduce to you our first ever guest on this podcast, Miss Madeline Bohlman. Thank you so much for coming.
So excited to be on today.
So excited to have you here. And I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm Madeline Bohlman. I am Miss Arkansas USA 2024. I was actually a Kappa Kappa Gamma with Avery. And we have been working on some mental health initiatives here in the Northwest Arkansas area, and we're so excited to talk about that today with y'all.
Yeah, we're so looking forward to this. So we reached out to Madeline maybe like 2 weeks ago. And
oh no, before that, but it's just been a matter of, actually getting through Miss USA and actually getting to meet. So yeah, 2 weeks ago, we finally got to meet.
We got to get together and we're going to start collaborating, and this is going to be the perfect match. We're so excited.
Yes.
So, Madeline, let's just start out by talking a little bit about yourself and your backstory. I know that you have, obviously you started college in 2020. This is COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that COVID poses so many struggles in itself, but how did you handle that? Being a freshman, being in college in COVID, moving away from your parents for the first time, that's so difficult.
Yeah, I moved away from my parents halfway through my senior year of high school. So that was the beginning of 2020. And that was really my first time being on my own. I went to live with my cousin and my uncle in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And that was crazy. So I learned a lot about being independent in that time. And then I obviously was 45 minutes from Fayetteville, so I got to meet a lot of people that we were going to be going to school with, and it was really the time of my life. It was a lot of fun, but then obviously COVID happened, and we were all in lockdown, and honestly, I look back at it now, and I kind of miss it, because it was kind of peaceful, but it was so uncertain, but I think it was kind of peaceful getting to really be by myself for the first time. I was in a different state. I was with new people, and I thought it was kind of a fun little self-growth era.
Definitely took you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. So that was it was an interesting time, but I still had fun with it, and I got to meet a lot of new people in Fort Smith and kind of built that community. And then I went to college after lockdown was kind of over, and went through Rush, and that was fun, but we had a really different experience. I watch all the TikToks now, and I'm like,
I get that.
Yeah, we didn't get that. So, everything that we had was online, and, from classes to Rush and everything, it was kind of you were put in a small confined space, either through your classes or through your sorority, and that was kind of crazy navigating that. So our college experience looked a lot different, but I do remember feeling a lot of pressure, going into college, trying new things, doing things that, I wasn't really used to doing, getting out of my comfort zone. That was crazy, trying to find my group of people. I didn't really find my friend group until like halfway through my sophomore year. I don't know if it was because of COVID or, just
COVID made it so hard to meet people that it was just like the people you could meet, you're like, well, I have to be friends with you because I don't know anybody else. Like, I have to. And then whenever you start meeting more and more throughout the next 2 years, it just helps you.
But I didn't even know girls in our sorority, like, until
last year,
like up until our senior year. Like, that was crazy because, our PC was 150 girls.
Yeah.
And
no, even less. It was like
125.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think after us was 150. But it was crazy because like we were so confined, and it also felt like a lot of people knew each other going into college.
Definitely.
And people already had their friend group. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to like settle into mine immediately. And I felt a lot of just outside pressure to look a certain way, do certain things, be a certain person. And that ended up like taking a big toll on my mental health about sophomore year of college. I hadn't really found my friend group, and, halfway through I kind of did, but I was also Miss Arkansas Teen USA. At the end of our freshman year, I won that title. And, I was always putting on these unrealistic expectations on myself, looking a certain way. I struggled with an eating disorder. I was at a point where my medication that I had been on for anxiety just started rejecting. Like, my body started rejecting it, and I wasn't able to get out of bed for days. I was just kind of at a point where I felt hopeless, and I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to get out of that. Thankfully, I did. I went to my psychiatrist, and I think I need to change my medication. Is there any way that I could try X, Y, and Z? And she looks at me and she's like, no, we're not going to do that. Mental health is not something you want to mess with. Time is of the essence. So, like, let's take this test that breaks down your genes and tells you what your body can break down. And I got the test back, and it turns out that the medication I had been on, the body wasn't taking it, and that there was one medication that my body probably would really work best with. So I got on that, and ever since I've been feeling a lot better, but that came with a lot of therapy and lifestyle changes too.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. And I think finding my people was a really big thing for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
So are there any stress skills?
I feel like I just went through, I just like spieled out my entire like senior year to sophomore year of college, or senior year of high school to sophomore year of college.
No, that's a good
one of my minutes.
All of it.
But yeah, that's some of my backstory. Obviously, like stuff before that too. But yeah.
Everything's just piling onto each other.
Yeah. I'm not a great storyteller either. I've been told like you're the worst storyteller by so many different people. So
no, you're not the worst.
Tell me when to go back. Tell me when to pause. Tell me when to add in things.
Let's talk about your stress skills. So when you were going through all of this, whenever you were a freshman, sophomore in college, and you were, changing medications, finding friends, what stress skills did you use to help you cope with all of those things?
So, like I said, I was Miss Arkansas Teen USA at the time, and I feel like a big part of that job was serving others. And something that really helped me during that time was not focusing as much on myself whenever, I was having those negative thoughts. Instead, I decided to serve others. I had a project called the Sunshine Project, and what that was a program where I was able to serve children in Arkansas who were maybe going through hard times. So whether that was poverty or illness or mental health issues, I was able to kind of come in and connect with them. Obviously, during that time, we were still following a lot of COVID regulations, so I wasn't able to hands-on, connect with those children. But what I was able to do was make sunshine baskets, and I held some toy drives, and I would make baskets, and I would write letters of encouragement to those kids, and I would donate them to hospitals or different nonprofits in the area, like the Children's Safety Center of Northwest Arkansas. I was
so awesome.
Yeah, I was able to do fun things like that, and I feel like pouring into other people actually helped me heal a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing. And I bet those organizations really appreciated you doing that too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now I'm working more on mental health. I'm more centered on that, and it's been a lot of fun actually connecting with people now that, it's 2024 and we actually get to go in and talk to kids and be in class.
No more lockdown.
Yeah, no more lockdown. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I think connecting with people was definitely my number one thing for managing stress or serving others.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So were there any things like happiness habits that you did for yourself? Like what is a non-negotiable in your daily or weekly routine? What do you have to do to bring yourself some happiness?
This is going to sound really funny. We were talking about this earlier. We've been in here like chit-chatting for like an hour. We've already like talked through everything pretty much, but we were just talking. I have to have a sweet treat every single morning. I make myself either an iced coffee. Actually, I've recently been making myself iced coffees, but I'm a big energy drink girl, and I know it's not the only thing to do, but like waking up every morning and having that Alani Nu, I just look forward to that. A sweet treat in the morning. That's my non-negotiable. Like, I am a huge beverage girl. You gotta go into work with like at least 2 or 3 drinks. I'll have like an Olipop and an Alani Nu on my desk every single day at work.
As you should.
Even at school, I would like tote around my little Starbucks drink, and then like a tea in the other hand. I don't know. I always have a beverage. That's my non-negotiable.
I get it. We both walked in here with like coffee in hand.
It's already gone.
Cheers.
She's already gone. But
cheers.
Yeah, that's my little happy non-negotiable. That's just like a little silly one. But I feel like my other one would have to be getting in good exercise. I feel like I learned this within the last year, honestly. Going on walks or even just going on the treadmill, listening to a podcast. That was really something that I've learned to love.
Next time you go walk on the treadmill, you can listen to this podcast.
Yes.
Listen to yourself.
Oh, Rick, I want to do that. I don't like listening to myself. That's one of the things that I told myself. If I start a podcast, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back and edit it. And I'd have someone else do it. Yeah, I can't listen to it. I know that, like, my friends maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Well, your friends are probably going to
listen to that part. I don't want my friend to listen to this. I feel like I'm just yapping. Yap best right now.
No.
I'm so ADHD. I'm like, wait, yeah, and then go on a walk, and then get coffee. And then... I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to add this into another happy habit I have. Okay. I don't know if like this is healthy, but I go to Home Goods or TJ Maxx like once a week.
That's not unhealthy as long as you're not like...
It makes me happy, and I'm not like over consuming. I'm not spending too much money. Sometimes I do.
Just a little good.
But even just to look around, like sometimes I'll just go in there and I feel a lot of happy vibes.
But then sometimes you smell it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I want and can't have.
Yeah. Yeah. I love to just go in and explore. Just find things. Even if I walk out empty-handed, that is something that I love to do with a coffee.
In TJ Maxx, because you can always find the strangest things on there.
Yeah. I'm about to make a TikTok with like 8 different pairs of shoes I found yesterday that I just couldn't get. Yeah. I got one pair.
Good.
They were like $25. It was cute. I might go back and get another pair today. I don't know. I've been thinking about these Red Ballet flats. Ooh,
cute.
I really want them.
Cute.
We'll see if I can afford it.
That's okay. We'll work on it.
We'll work on it.
Okay. Well, that could go right into some inspired actions, because you could set goals to be like, okay, my goal for this week is to do this, and then I'll treat myself with a pair of shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I might actually do that because I've been thinking about how I need to learn and sharpen up on my Excel skills for my upcoming job. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do at least 2 or 3 courses before the weekend, which starts tomorrow. And then on Sunday evening, I'm going to go get myself those red ballet flats.
Do it. We set goals.
We just set a goal.
Do you have any other inspired actions, like goals that you set, or re-goaling, micro goals?
Yeah. Some of my micro goals, ever since I competed at Miss USA, it's been kind of hard for me to work out. You know, like before Miss USA, I was working out hardcore every single day, sometimes 2 times a day.
Oh my God.
With the goal in mind of we're going on the Miss USA stage on national television. Like, you have one shot. Yeah, you've got one shot to look your best and feel your best. Do it. And that was kind of my driving goal. That was a big goal I had at the time. But now I kind of am like, ooh, I want to maintain that figure. I not as much for figure anymore. I think it's just, you know, my mental health, even to stay healthy, to stay active. So one of my micro goals right now is just to work out once or twice a week. It's kind of hard. The motivation has gone down a little bit, but I feel like doing a Pilates class once a week and then doing like an ab workout or going on the treadmill once a week.
Do something that you love rather than something that you have to do. Now you can have fun with it and do an exercise that you enjoy.
Yeah, that's how I feel at Pilates, honestly. And like the community is really nice at the studio I go to.
Or you could go to like a dance class and do Zumba or
oh my
something.
gosh, I totally do that.
That'd be so much fun. Yeah, I'll go with you.
No, I kind of want to do that now.
Okay,
so.
I'll go with you.
All right, go. Let us know. We'll go next week before I leave for New York.
Just call us.
Yeah, just call us like next Tuesday or something. I'm so down. I'm not even kidding. We're actually gonna have to schedule that.
Okay, text me next Tuesday.
But yeah, those are some of the. That's like one of the small goals I have right now, just kind of maintaining that healthy lifestyle that I had. I've been really bad about my diet too. I've gotten into sourdough baking and
that's so fun.
Yeah, just like baking things and
that can be a happiness habit.
Yes, that is a happiness habit, but they're not the healthiest things. So I'm kind of trying to be healthier. Yeah, it is better than other bread, and I'm trying to cook healthier things with it. You know, get my protein back up.
Avocado toast.
Get my greens and avocado toast. So, yeah, like little things like that. Those are some micro goals I have. And then just like day-to-day tasks. Like I right now have 2 dents in my car. Like, am I not 2 dents? Cut that part. I don't know what they're. I have 2 cracks in my windshield. And I really want to go to Safe Life, but like I have not made the appointment. Just like little things. But I know I need to do it before my job starts. So that's one of my goals right now.
That's one
of my goals. I have a to-do list. Yeah, that's a long term. That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
My 2 weeks.
We have daily goals.
We have like daily and then we have weekly, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Monthly goals.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that's great. I think that's a really good way to organize yourself. And at least that you know, like, you don't have so much at once that you're like overwhelmed by how many goals that you have set. And you're like, and you don't want to set unreachable goals because, I mean, that's just going to bring you more.
That stresses me out and brings me a lot of hopelessness.
Exactly.
I can't do that. Yeah, like even being Miss Arkansas, one of my goals right now is to book an appearance at least like once a week. Just especially with work going on. I mean, it's crazy getting my schedule together. So, you know, balancing things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just little minimal things.
And even things that you like were doing. I mean, once you start a full-time job, it's going to be a lot harder. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I feel like a big thing that I want everybody to know is that you don't have to, when your life changes, you don't have to feel bad because you're not doing some of the things that you used to do. Like,
that's something I've been really struggling with. Yeah.
Like, just because you're not working out every day or twice a day anymore doesn't mean it's bad. You're still doing what you need to do. You're still getting your stuff done. You're still setting goals. I mean, you're still making that effort, but your life has changed.
It's just a shift of priorities. And I think, like, knowing where your priorities are and, like, what your goals are, like, getting your priorities and your goals aligned, that's all you really need to do. Sometimes you have to do more of something and less of others. Yeah, so
sometimes you need less coffee in the morning.
no, it's non-negotiable. That's not negotiable. I can't have less coffee in the morning. I don't know.
I don't blame you. I have
Sometimes I need to wake up a little bit earlier in order to get a workout in. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I woke up at 11 today.
That's okay.
And I didn't work out today because of that.
Sleep is much needed.
But my priority today was coming on and doing the podcast.
And here you are.
And here I am. Yeah.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
It all worked out.
Exactly.
So what are some things that you have done to eliminate some of the challenges in your life? I know that it's really hard, especially I can't imagine going to all the pageants. And I mean, I would have negative thoughts constantly running through my head. Like, how did you combat those? And how did you eliminate those challenges?
I listen to a lot of Mel Robbins' podcasts. She has a lot of great life tips and just incorporating positive self-talk was something that was so big for me. I didn't really do that until, I guess, the beginning of my senior year. I was really down on myself. I think being in a sport, so to say, that is so subjective and so challenging.
Yeah.
So heavy on your appearance. It was hard to, talk to myself kindly and remind myself that, hey, like, every day you're making progress. And it was just hard to see progress for a while, especially whenever I first got back into pageantry. But I made a promise to myself that, like, if we're going to go back into this, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to talk to ourselves kindly. We are not going to give ourselves unrealistic expectations. We're going to make small goals. And something that's, like, really helped me with making those small and big goals was getting a planner.
Oh my gosh, I love planner.
Yeah, like, I think that's the number one life hack that everyone needs. Get a planner. And I'm not talking like Google Calendar. I'm not talking about online. I mean, get one that you can write down your goals. I have one right now, and it's like top 3 goals of the day, your schedule, and then things that you're thankful for.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's helped me out a lot. And then I can also, like, schedule things months in advance, and then I can check on my progress from the past. It's really cool to look at. So I think, getting a planner is really, really helpful. And that's one of the things that helped me out in this process the most. Just getting rid of, small tasks or being like, this is the small things I need to do this week. And then sometimes I'll write it in the next day. And then if I don't get it done that next day, I'll be like, okay, you have to do it. It's at the top of the priority list the next day. So that's one of the things that's really helped me.
I'm glad that you brought up a planner because I have used one ever since high school. And everybody always...
I bring mine, like, everywhere. I'm surprised I didn't bring it with me today.
I did bring mine. I'll show you after this.
Planner haul.
No, I have used my planner for everything every single day. I am obsessed with it. I spend, like, hours looking into a good planner.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's so hard for me to order one. I found one that I loved.
Is it the Pavier?
No, this is kind of a silly story. I found one that I loved, and I ordered it, and then it came in, and it was non-dated. I was like, oh my god.
That's what happened.
How did I do this?
TJ Maxx.
How did I do?
Found out TJ Maxx. This is like a TJ Maxx ad. I can't.
Okay. TJ Maxx is a happiness habit.
Jeez.
You just can't go overboard with it. And that's okay.
It's okay. We can go in there, like, once a week. I limit myself.
Yeah, that should be a goal.
Boundaries.
a goal to only go to TJ Maxx once a week. We can set boundaries with the vicinity. Because sometimes you drive by and you're like, I'm going to go there. This is where we're going to go.
Yeah. That's how it goes most of the time.
That's okay. That is okay. I feel like in every story that you've told so far, I've seen so many stress skills, so many happiness habits.
Yes. Like I feel like each story you can, or each thing that you go through in your life, you can find a way to cope with the stress skill.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the top things that I've learned from like therapy and from podcasts over the years. So I think also just like learning those stress skills. I know it sounds really simple, but I didn't really think about it until I actually listened to someone else tell me about them.
Yeah.
So
I know.
So that's why I'm like, hey, everyone go get a planner and write down your goals.
Yeah.
Write down things that you're going to do each day.
And you could even write down like
that's
what
right.
skills you're going to use
Skills.
for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, if you have your goals all written down, your day planned out, you could be like, okay, well, I already know that this might bring me a little bit of stress. This might make me a little bit of anxious. So write down a stress skill that you want to use with it, or write down a couple and then choose from the ones that you've written down. I mean, I literally use the 90-second pause every
so
day,
good,
multiple times
so
a day,
good.
Because every single time I get anxious, like, actually, whenever I started working at the Shine Hope Company, I started talking with Catherine a lot, and Catherine is amazing, and I love her. Every single time I would get stressed, she'd say, just breathe. And at first I was like, I can't. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm so anxious. Like, I cannot breathe. I don't know why you're telling me to that. Like, I can't. And, like, my mind was just racing. And I was like, that is not helping me. And then I did it. And I was like,
I was like, wait, this is kind of nice.
Oh, I actually can chill out. Like,
we were also talking. This is reminding me. We all got lunch about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the 90-second pause, but also belly breathing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. If you don't know what belly breathing is, look up a tutorial on how to do it. I feel like I can't explain can you explain how to do it?
I mean, it's basically like,
it's like inverted breathing.
Like,
in a way.
You have to breathe in so much that your belly literally moves.
Like you breathe in so much and your stomach goes out like
yeah.
And then whenever you breathe out, well, no, wait.
I remember learning this in a class, like my sophomore year of college, and we were standing outside, and I think we were in the Greek theater, and my professor was like, okay, let's belly breathe, and girls, push out those bellies as far as you can. I was like, you are watching me do this in the middle of campus? Really?
You're like, be so serious. No, but it really is like one of the best techniques that I've learned.
Yeah.
I had one of my fitness coaches taught me it a week before Miss USA. She's like, okay, roll up your shirt in. Just push out your stomach. Like, she was explaining how to do it. And this is the weirdest thing ever. And I did it backstage before Miss USA. Calmest I've ever felt.
Yeah.
On stage. Most at peace I've ever felt.
Truly, just like breathing.
Just breathing. It changes
so
everything. So that's another big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like, I honestly, like, haven't ever really heard of these things. I know, like, I feel like every single time I talk about the Shine framework, I'm like, oh my gosh, I did this, and this. But, like, the 90-second pause and the belly breathing, like, I literally had not heard of. And now I'm like, why don't more people know about them? Because if they would just breathe, then they would
box breathing too. That's like whenever you inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just do it again. It's so relaxing, and it slows everything down, slows down your thought process, slows down your heart rate. Very relaxing. I do it at the end of every single one of my Pilates classes.
And do that for 90 seconds. And then all of your adrenaline will have calmed down. Your cortisol levels will be back to normal.
Yep.
Perfect. We have figured out a life hack for y'all. I hope that you...
That's the method.
Okay, Madeline, do you have any final thoughts or any 3 things that you think everybody should take away from this?
Number 1 would be, if you are struggling with something, don't be afraid to talk about your emotions. Tell someone. I promise someone will listen to you. And if you don't think that there's someone that will listen to you, there are tons of platforms where you can talk to someone for free online. I know that there are different online counseling services. There are phone numbers that you can call. Someone will listen to you.
It's 988.
Yes. So that's number one. Always talk about how you're feeling. Number two, I might have to think on that. Number two, there is a light at the end of every single tunnel.
Yeah.
I've been through one too many things I didn't even touch on in this podcast. But something that my mom always told me growing up was that there's a light at the end of every tunnel. And there's not been one time of darkness where I haven't seen the light at the end of the tunnel. And I promise that if I have gone through that so many times, I've gone through so many different tunnels. And if I've seen the light at the end of it, I promise you can too.
That's amazing.
Oh, like there's another. I'm like, ooh,
what else can I tell y'all right now?
My favorite quote is, I don't know if this like even like applies to what we've been talking about, but
Let's hear it.
just mental health and hope in general. Comparison is the thief of joy. That's one of my favorite quotes. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's, because you're doing great. You're making small changes every day, especially if you do these practices and you have these strategies, like incorporating one, like even if you incorporate the 90-second breathing hack into your life, at least once today, you're doing something for yourself. Don't ever compare your journey, your life, what you're going through to someone else's. Everyone has something that they're going through, and it looks different for every single person. So don't compare that, because comparison is the thief of joy.
You never know what somebody's going through at home.
Yeah, that's another big thing. I wish that someone would, whenever I won Miss Arkansas, I was like, I want to be the person that comes to schools and tells kids the things that I wish I heard.
Yeah.
Whenever I was in elementary school being bullied, or whenever I was going through a hard time in elementary school or even high school, I just all throughout life, whenever I was going through something hard. And one of the things I wish someone would have told me was exactly that. You never know what someone else is going through at home. I mean, I was told that growing up, but I wish someone would have came to my school and was like,
Told everybody else.
told everyone else that. I wish everyone else could hear. You know, you never know what someone else is going through. So give people grace, love people. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And this stands
It's
true for
easier.
even your closest of friends. They might be
Yes.
going through something
People
that
don't
they're not
talk.
talking about.
People don't talk.
But
Yeah.
you can talk.
And you should. That's my number one thing. If you if you can go away with one thing from this podcast, it is talk to someone.
Talk to your people. Talk to your nourishing networks.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And then what was I? Oh my gosh, I was about to say something really good, really fire. Oh. It's easier to love people than to hate people.
Yeah.
It's so simple. That's so simple, but I wish that was something that someone would have said in a public space that I was in as a kid. Oh, cut that. It sounded weird. But yeah, it's easier to love people than to hate people. So don't compare yourself. Show everyone love.
Yeah.
And understand that people are going through their own things behind the scenes. Yeah.
Well,
Those are my big takeaways.
I think that is great advice.
I'm so unorganized. I'm so scatterbrained. Maybe next time, like,
We'll be a little bit
more
together.
together.
But for now, thank you so much for listening, and thank you, Madeline, for being here.
Thank you
So
for having
excited to
me.
have you. Thank you, guys. Tune in next week. Thank you all for listening to the Hope Matrix on Campus podcast. I hope to have provided you with actionable insights and a framework that you can use to start activating higher hope in your life today. And don't forget that hope is measurable and teachable. This program is designed to assist you in learning about hope, that it should not be used for medical advice, counseling, or other health-related services. I, Fred, the Shine Hope Company, and myself, Avery Peel, do not endorse or provide any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. I am not a medical doctor. The information provided here should not be used for the diagnosis or treatment of any medical condition and cannot be substituted for the advice of physicians, licensed professionals, or therapists who are familiar with your specific situation. Consult a licensed medical professional or call 911 if you're in need of immediate assistance, and be sure to know the crisis hotline 988 if you are in need of support. We are better with hope. Please feel free to check out theshinehopecompany.com, where we list all of our resources around how to hope. We have a lot of free programs for how to hope, including the 5-day challenge, our hope infographic with a lot of skills that showcase how to hope, and articles of how to incorporate hope in your life. We have the Hope Beat Weekly, which is a weekly newsletter that shares strategies for hope. We have my Shine Hope story template, so you can write your own Shine Hope story today. Also, my Shine Hope hero, so we can share what our heroes are doing to activate hope in our lives. And this is especially good with youth, so they can start looking up to people that have overcome similar challenges to them and seeing how these heroes use the Shine Hope framework. We have a Hopeful Minds for Teens program and Hopeful Minds Overview Educator Guides. We have a new evidence-based college course so you can activate hope on the college campus. There are programs in the workspace, overview courses, 90-minute courses for learning the what, why, and how to hope. What I want you to know about hope is it's a skill you've got to practice to become more hopeful. It's easy to fall into despair and helplessness when we deal with challenges in life, and it takes intentional work and practice to get to hope. And yet it is always possible. So no matter what life brings, keep shining hope. Thanks so much for listening, and have an awesome day.